You're watching San Diego's #1 source for news. Right here, right now. This is News 8 at 6.
Welcome to Friday, everyone. It's April 18th. I'm John Kalia.
And Evette Dabney in for Gina Lou. Coming up on News 8 at 6, a search gets underway in Chula Vista for a man accused of a fatal shooting.
Also, a biker is seriously injured following an overnight car accident.
And the local community pulls together to help San Diego's neglected and abused children.
Good morning, I'm Jeannie Cavett. We have 60 degrees this morning at Lindbergh Field. Some patchy dense fog here and there around San Diego County once again this morning. I have the Friday forecast and a traffic update coming up in just a few minutes.
Topping our news this morning, Chula Vista police are searching for a suspect following a deadly shooting.
It happened overnight, apparently following an argument.
Officers say two men were involved in a drug transaction when they got into a fight, but it was broken up and one man left the scene. He later returned with a gun and opened fire on the victim, Raul Ibarra, who was killed. The suspect, Gabriel Pinuelas, got away. Police say he's an undocumented immigrant, but is not expected to cross the border back into Mexico. They say he's known to frequent North Park and El Cajon Boulevard. A Crawford High School student is dead after a shooting in City Heights. Police say 17-year-old Juan Cabrera was shot last night while riding his bike in an alley near the 4100 block of 49th Street. He died at the scene. The motive for the shooting is unclear and no suspects are in custody. The suspects may have been driving a Chevrolet Monte Carlo with faded red paint. An elderly woman is hospitalized after being hit by a car. It happened last night in Pacific Beach. The woman was riding her bike with another person at Grand and Gresham when the car hit her. The woman was taken to Scripps Hospital in La Jolla. No word yet on her condition.
A big house fire broke out in Rancho Santa Fe this morning. It happened on North Lane at Highland Drive. Officials say the fire started in the garage and spread to the kitchen. The owners of the home are believed to be out of town. No one was hurt, but there's extensive water and smoke damage to the house. The cause of that fire is not known. An alleged gang member is scheduled to be sentenced today in connection with a drive-by shooting. Jamal Robinson was convicted of 6 felonies. Police believe he was shooting at a rival gang member last September, but instead the gunfire wounded a Pop Warner football coach at a Skyline Park. Robinson was found guilty of the crime along with the wounding of another man at a nearby market. He now faces 46 years to life in prison.
A controversial decision in a high-profile case. A judge reduced the conviction of Danny Palm, the Spring Valley man who shot and killed a described neighborhood bully. Last summer, a jury found Palm guilty of shooting 48-year-old John Harper Jr. Yesterday, the judge reduced Palm's conviction, which surprised family members on both sides, from second-degree murder to manslaughter.
It's a serious mistake to conclude that Dan was unemotionally unmoved by this horrible event.
This man, knowing that there was a heated argument, followed him to make sure he was dead.
As we said, the judge reduced Palm's conviction from second-degree murder to manslaughter. That means he'll serve a maximum of 10 years in prison. Palm's neighbors had mixed reactions to his sentencing. Most said they were glad with the outcome, but some were not.
To me, that was premeditated, cold-blooded murder. And the idea somebody will get out in 7.5 years after taking a life, I can't believe it.
I'm elated.
Why?
This is a good man, and he didn't deserve to be in prison for a lengthy amount of time.
One thing they all agree on, the Spring Valley neighborhood where the murder happened will never be the same.
The 911 tape that brought the world's attention to Rancho Santa Fe last month has been released. The call was made to a sheriff's dispatcher by former Heaven's Gate cult member Rio D'Angelo.
I think there was a religious group that committed suicide.
How long ago? Do you know about how long ago?
I'm not really sure.
Okay, and how did you hear about this?
I was notified by mail.
D'Angelo said he wanted to remain anonymous. It took sheriff's deputies 2 hours to get to the mansion where the mass suicides took place. Officials say they're investigating why it took so long, but sheriff's communications captains say a shorter response time wouldn't have changed the outcome. Federal authorities say the owner of the Heaven's Gate mansion in Rancho Santa Fe is one of several people named in a bribery scheme at a local college. Officials say starting in 1992, Sam Kuchifihani paid Mesa College professor Darnell Hayes $150 for each passing grade he gave to foreign students who didn't even take his class. The scheme was alleged to set up so that students could maintain their visas. Hayes has been indicted for accepting bribes. 3 other people, including Kuchifihani, have pleaded guilty to crimes related to the scheme. The distant sun looked like a great fireball, but up close the huge flames were very real. You could feel the intense heat, smell the burning brush, and hear the fire crackle and pop.
Yeah, everybody's afraid, you know.
Strong winds forced the fire to move rapidly.
Santa Ana winds, they're really bad right now. People need to get out of this area, like, soon.
Flames engulfed a recycling yard near the San Marcos landfill, destroying equipment and everything else in the way. Through all the haze and fire, an eerie yellow light covered the sky. All around West Haven Road, curious onlookers gasped in disbelief.
We had a good view. We saw it all the way across the street, way on the other side of the hill. Slowly came down and just burned everything, man. Everything. Some houses down that road? Yeah, we saw about 20 houses go up on the top of the hill. It was pretty bad.
Everybody in your cars, let's move on. Let's get going.
At this point, firefighters say they've done all they can do for the northwest flank of this fire. So right now they're concentrating on moving the looky-loos out of the way.
I don't want to be here with that coming, and I don't know why these people want to be here with it coming.
Oh, a deer! Look at this deer! The huge flames licking through the brush forced wild creatures big and small to run for their lives.
Leave now!
Go. Right now, right now.
It's nothing for the fire to jump the road.
Eventually, the fire burned into and around human dwellings. We found a worried mother waiting with her kids in a La Costa subdivision. She packed a few things that obviously had sentimental value to those near and dear to her.
The baby pictures and the times of the moments gone by.
We were so worried about you.
Close friends came by to lend a helping hand.
This is good.
The father of the family, Lieutenant Brant Bast, a noted lifeguard known for saving lives in the water, arrives just in time to rescue his family from fire.
Trying to remain calm, but that looks pretty darn close over there.
Now, evacuate the area now.
Families scrambled to leave for safer surroundings, but there's one more struggle: traffic. Evette Dabney, KFMB, News 8. Hundreds of acres are scorched.
You have to clear the road.
The huge fire started near the Rincon Indian Reservation and burned into Valley Center. The fast-moving flames were frightening.
There's 3 houses down here, and they're all gone at this time.
I'm just coming back down to see if I still got a house.
Lucky, Tom.
We're lucky. Yeah. Well, those 3 houses they say burned are less than a quarter of a mile away.
The fire swept up through the area of Cool Valley here in Valley Center. It started in Rincon and swept up over the hill. And I'm just here at my cousin's house trying to fix a sprinkler system and defend what I can.
By daylight, 6 homes were engulfed by giant flames. As long as the fire continues to burn, there is still a threat to other structures.
We have other friends and families that are over in this area we're concerned about.
People who live near Dorothy Lane in Valley Center are scrambling to save themselves and their neighbors.
Well, we just hooked out to the truck and hauled out of here.
Earl Husted and other volunteers have been working round the clock, moving friends and their belongings to safety.
We've been up since last night about 9 o'clock. We have members of our church all throughout here. We've been just basically hitting each home as it's been threatened.
High in the sky, planes tried dousing the flames with water. On the ground, more than 300 firefighters battled the blaze non-stop. Fortunately, no injuries have been reported in this fire so far. Evette Dabney, KFMB News 8.
John Kalia, this breaking story tops our news today at noon.
And I'm Gina Liu. Let's go straight to News 8's Evette Dabney, who is standing by in the newsroom with the very latest on that story. Hi, Yvette.
Good afternoon, John and Gina. The shootout that happened a few hours ago in L.A. was indeed a shocker. It was a botched bank robbery and then a huge shootout involving cops, robbers, and unfortunately innocent people on the street. I must warn you that the video you are about to see is horrifying, but very real. The gun battle was captured by a news crew right above the scene in a helicopter.
On the scene, just driving up, bullets being exchanged, fire being exchanged.
Bullets were fired off continuously, round after round. It seems like the robbers were trying to hit anything that moved.
Okay, he's got a pistol out now. Okay. Down, down.
This gun battle broke out after a botched bank robbery about 9:30 this morning. Shots were fired at a Bank of America branch in North Hollywood. In the midst of the bank robbery, the area around Victory Boulevard turned into a war zone.
Okay, we have some gunfire right now going on. Just saw some puff of smoke coming out of the side of this white car, and we're exchanging gunfire in the parking lot as we speak.
The gunmen wore ski masks and carried assault weapons. They fired several rounds of gunfire at police, news helicopters, and bystanders. Some bystanders who just happened to be in the way were also shot.
It looks like LAPD has taken 2 more suspects into custody. Of course, that's certainly good news. It looks like these guys have gotten out. They got out of their paramilitary gear, and they're in what would be called street gear.
Several suspects were rounded up by police and forced to surrender, but several people were hurt in all of this. Now, this is a summary of what we know about this Los Angeles shootout in North Hollywood. 2 suspects are dead. 2 are now in custody. 6 police officers were wounded. 1 is in critical condition right now. 2 citizens were wounded, and some bank employees.
All aboard at the newly renovated trolley station in Otay Mesa.
Evette Dabney is there, and she gets us off on the right track with this live report. Hi, Evette.
Hello. The Iris Avenue trolley station is looking better than ever. Why? A facelift worth almost $600,000. They've really done a lot to spruce up this place. They've added new lighting, they've renovated bus shelters, and they've created new bike lockers. They've even redesigned trash receptacles and a couple of newspaper racks. The benches have been repainted, so they're nice and shiny. People are enjoying a new seat this morning. 39 palm trees have also been planted, along with other shrubs, to create a nicer environment. Another big change here is a new setup placing the buses closer to the trolleys. That makes everything much more convenient for passengers who have to transfer quickly. More than 2,000 transit riders pass through this station on a weekday, and in their honor, the Transit Authority is hosting a party here. In fact, it's starting right now. The station has been decorated with banners and balloons, and they're serving refreshments and giving away free souvenirs. And this is quite a pleasant surprise for the hundreds and thousands of people that have to ride the bus and trolley here along the South Line. And it is indeed a great day. It's turning out to be a wonderful morning. Reporting live from right beside the South Line here at the newly renovated transit station, Evette Dabney, KFMB News 8.
Thanks very much, Evette.
A lot different than riding the Chicago subway and New York subway is our